I remember to live my life. I remember that these are the good old days that we're currently living in now. And I remember that one day, regardless of how much wealth I would have had accumulated at that time, I will look back and think, damn, if I could just go back to when, or man, take me back to when, or these are the stories that we're going to tell. Um, like, yo, I remember, bro, I was just one man, one phone, one t-shirt, one dream, these are the days we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the days when we just had to put the nose to the grindstone and make it happen, you know. But a very important part of it is remembering to live while I am making the life that I want to live. Like, and also realizing that the making of the life is the living, right? That is the living itself. And like I said, and that's what causes the fact that even when you have accumulated whatever you want to accumulate, you'll think back to, man, I remember when this was just an idea in my head. Was it? Isn't that so cool? Isn't that cool that I lived in that time and I really believed about what I thought, and I really believed in the people that I delegated certain things to, and I was really like, I think that's a very, very important thing. Um, Jumping back briefly to the partner conversations that we've been having, it's kind of a point of a point that I'm just leaving up to the universe at some point, to be completely honest, because I'm not sure if it would behoove me to go for someone that's going to be as ambitious as I am, um, or to go more for someone who's going to want to not pull me back, but is going to be a sort of a cheerleader, yes, who wants me to go forward and do this, do that, but also a sort of time away in terms of, yes, we can talk deeply about problems that we want to solve, this, then the third, but most of the conversation is going to be more so around, I don't know what. I really don't know what I'm talking about. But I do believe that there's something to having your little piece of paradise when you get home. Who just wants to talk. You can talk about you. You can talk about the things that you want to get through. You can talk about what she has going on, that type of stuff. And then there's something to having like a running mate who just so happens to be your partner as well. So yeah, very interesting concept that encaptures the idea of I do want to be present in this moment, and I guess it's that other person who's not your running mate is going to be someone that reminds you to be present and to actually enjoy life. For example, I do enjoy going on family holidays when I'm on the holiday. When you're telling me let's go to the holiday, the first thing that's on my mind is hell no, I have work to do, right? And so this is why I'm very conscious and aware of where I'm at, what I'm doing, what's going on, and I very much deliberately try to enjoy the moment that I'm in, enjoy the process, as I'm going through it, and not be in my head the whole time thinking about what is going to happen in the future, because I'm a dreamer by nature, and so I always live in tomorrow and the day after. And more times than not, the reason why I actually do execute on things is because I think to myself, man, if I'm saying I'm going to do this tomorrow me is going to be really upset that I didn't do it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so let me do me tomorrow a favor, because I noticed this especially with like doing the social media stuff and things like that, or with whatever. It's like, or for example, I was taking notes immediately after I came back from class on Friday. I just sat there. My hand was cramped. I haven't written in a long time. I actually bought just a couple of notebooks, not too big, little thin things, because I believe in the the process of learning. Like, and I realized this as well. Is I literally taught myself to learn when after I finished high school. After I finished high school, did all of the stuff that I did, and I decided that I wanted to start self educating. I started buying books, doing this and that. I actually learned how to learn, and a part of that process for me is just repeating it as often as possible. So if I'm listening to something, if it's an audio book, I'll take notes because it goes in here and it goes through here. So I have to think it again. I have to kind of, hold it, take note of it. Cool. And then if I'm reading and listening at the same time, that also works out well for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're listening, writing, if you're reading, and you're listening to the audiobook version, those are two that are pretty much it for me. Or if you are seeing something from another format, if you want to jot it down in the way that you understand it, actually write it down, because it's going to pass through your head one more time, and you have the convenience of whenever you do want to come back to the information, you can remember exactly how you remembered it to yourself. And so you have a very captured moment in time of that memory of that piece of information. And so yeah, I taught myself how to learn after high school, which is crazy, right? Because it's like, what were we doing in school? Really, sometimes I ask myself. But even in the midst of all this, as we are doing these services to ourselves, and it everything we do is attributed to that future self, it is also remembering that the present self was the future self at some point, and not to let life pass by. And I'm talking specifically to my dreamers right now. I'm talking specifically to people like me who see these big visions for themselves, and see these big things that they want to accomplish and they want to do, and they're living life now dedicated to that person. Remember that you right now is a future version of yourself that you had at some point in time. Meaning, don't always put off living life. But I think a very big part of it is learning to enjoy the process. I think that's a very, very big part of it. Is just learning to be within the process, and as you're going through it, to actually find the things that you enjoy within it, and to be able to be present and not just going through the motions for the sake of future self, but to also be here because you want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, then why are you doing it? Like to some great extent, I understand there are those things that we have to do anyway, even if we don't like to do them, because they're necessary in order to achieve the thing. But then it also comes back to, if that North Star is pulling to you, then 100,000% chew glass if you have to, right? However, if most of the process just feels like chewing glass, if you don't enjoy in some part, like in some part, I enjoy people. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy talking to different business owners, solving their problems, doing this, doing that. Like I enjoy that process. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's not just I want to do this big thing, but also while I'm in it, while I'm in it, my heart's pumping, and I'm not sure if this deal's gonna come through, but I need to make payroll for this, and there's this phone call that I'm waiting on, but there's that phone call that I have to make, and I still have to do, like that right there for me, that makes me feel alive. That makes me feel like I'm here and I'm doing something now. Those are the moments when I really, really, truly feel like I'm present. You know. And so if it doesn't really give you that feeling, we're having technical difficulties clearly, but hopefully you guys can still see me. If it doesn't really give you that feeling, then I think strongly considering if it's for you is a very important thing to do. And if you decided yes, it is for you, then yeah, accept that chewing that glass is a part of the process as well. It's as much a part of the process as any other part of the process. But besides the positive context of remembering to live, right? Besides the positive context that is, I will do what I have to do, but I will also enjoy the process. Besides that, there are times to actually step away from the process, you know, especially in those calms before the storm. I find I think it's a decent idea to want to pull back a little bit. It's like a week before the show, in bodybuilding terms, a week before the show, you do kind of want to pull back the volume a little bit, you know? And the reason why you want to pull back the volume a little bit is because in order to allow yourself to actually come correctly and to look good, same thing goes for running, same thing goes for, I think, pretty much all sports, combat sports, like whatever the case is. Even in rugby, like that week of, or say especially the day before, a couple of days before, you kind of want to go softer impact. You can go super high impact the week before or leading up to, or all of that stuff, but the day before, the couple of days before, you don't really want to put your body under too much duress, because you want to peak for that day. Or, you know in my case, I may want to peak for a season that's coming up. And so right now, I think I've sort of reeled back a little bit. I mean, this weekend I've really, yes, I have done pretty much everything that that I meant to do. I just haven't done anything extra, and I always do extra. That's the thing. And so in that not doing extra, what I find is that's my way of kind of remembering to live in a sense, while also allowing myself to kind of recharge or refresh so that I can peak. I don't like the idea of recharging and refreshing because if it's an enjoyable process for you, you won't need a recharge or a refresh, right? Which it is for me, and that's why I quite often don't recharge and refresh, and I'm still making this content now, and I'm not taking time off, not taking downtime. But I think it just removes that pressure of having to do as much as I possibly can within that time frame. And I'm now in a phase where I'm doing enough, where I'm doing enough, and then with the rest of the time I kind of just spend time with family, spend time with little bro, little sis. Yeah, just chill. Remember to be here. Remember that again. These are the good old days. These are the days that I'm gonna look back on and I'm gonna wish. Like one of those things. You just, man, I wish I'd thrown the ball around with my little brother a bit more. Man, I wish I'd spent more time. You know what I'm saying? I wish I'd spent more time with this person, with that person. Those are the things we need to be conscious and aware of as well. Um, and so yeah, without making any in order this too lengthy, I'll say the main things. Again, I'll hit on them. It's don't forget to live while you are building your future life, because this is a future that you at some point were trying to build, right? I'll speak for myself personally. I had prayed for an opportunity to create an opportunity, and that's what I have. Just praying for a chance to make a chance, and that's what I have now. And so with that, live while you're creating the life. The present that you're living in today was at some point the future, and perhaps more importantly, or will have what will have more gravity for you guys, from me, is these are the good old days. These are the days where you're going to look back on, you're going to tell stories about and say, man, those days. The good old days are nothing more than the present being taken for granted. And so remember that you're living in the good old days. 40-year-old you, 50-year-old you, regardless of what kind of car they drive, what kind of private jet, plane, this, that, they would trade that all to be 20 again. And so remember that, keep that in mind, take that to heart. And this is coming out on Monday. It's Sunday right now. And so I will say, go in, crush that week. And if you're already in Monday, you've had a blue Monday, this, that, the third, things I don't necessarily believe in myself, but some people do experience, and what you experience and allow to get into your mind becomes your reality. So if that blue Monday is your reality right now, I'm going to tell you to snap out of it. And I'm going to tell you that every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment to go out and show them that you're a different creature now than you were during that downtime. All right? Okay. If you do, in fact, enjoy this channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And regardless, I just want to thank you for watching. I have been Sage, signing off.